Well, not even Halloween yet.
We can start early.
Ooh, it doesn't matter. Watch this when it's Halloween.
This is week 2 of Spooky Month.
Okay.
Welcome, ghosts and ghouls, to tonight's chilling episode of TU Animation Industry Club Podcast, week 2 in October's Spooky Month edition. In this episode, we will be discussing some of the most famous 3D and CG horror films and shorts, the unique challenges of making this type of 3D programs, and what makes them so effective. Discussions about software recommendations and where to find tutorials if our listeners want to get into 3D animations. My name is Murat, your hostess for today, and joining us are other guests. Who wants to start?
I'm Robin Ender. Okay. Hey guys, it's Jared. I've only been here once, but don't worry, we'll roll with it. Social is Jared Salazar VA312 or at JSalazar VA312 on Twitter. And I'll pass the puck to everybody else.
Alright, my name is Naomi. My social is usually on Instagram, Sylvie2_DG.
I'm Logan Kelly. I still don't have any social media.
Oh, I'm Julian Jules Henman, Jules for short, and I have a lot of social medias examples, including Instagram, Facebook, Deviantart, and Reddit.
The one name that links them all, yeah.
I know I have a lot of them, and those are examples. And I also have a Patreon.
No, did you mention the name of your? I guess pick your Instagram, and what's the name of what do you go by on Instagram?
Jules Henman.
Okay.
And I also have a Patreon.
Okay. Yes, I'll link that in the description. Okay. Yes. Okay. Skittles. Greg.
There's no Skittles, only Zool.
Well, thanks for coming out, Zool. Okay. Did you want to join?
Sure, yeah, I can. My name is Michael. You can find me at Easily Michael on Instagram.
Okay. Wonderful. Okay, starting out, the history of 3D animation used in horror films is a long and storied one. The first 3D animated horror film was in 1973 in a short film called The Phantom of the Paradise. The film was groundbreaking for its use of 3D animation, and it helped pave the way for future horror films that would use the same technology. In the 1980s, 3D animation became more widely used in horror films, with films like Poltergeist and The Thing, using technology to create some truly terrifying scenes. In the 1990s, 3D animation continued to be used in horror films, with films like The Blair Witch Project and The Sixth Sense, using technology to create a sense of unease and suspense. 3D animation became even more realistic with the films like The Ring and The Conjuring, using the technology to create truly terrifying monsters and ghosts. In 2010, 3D animation continued to be used in films like It and A Quiet Place, using the technology to create some truly unforgettable scares. In 2006, Monster House, great film. Okay, so there are a number of different 3D animation software programs that can be used to create horror films. Some of the most popular programs include Autodesk Maya, Autodesk 3D Max, and Cinema 4D. These programs allow animators to create realistic 3D models and environments, as well as to animate characters and objects in a variety of ways. Okay. Despite the challenges, 3D animation can be a very effective tool for creating horror films when used correctly. 3D animation can create truly terrifying, suspenseful scenes that can leave audiences on the edge of their seats. So, if you're interested in learning more about 3D animation, there are a number of resources available and libraries, tutorials available to teach you basic 3D animations. So, some paid ones are Autodesk Maya, Autodesk 3D Max, Cinema 4D, and Houdini. Some free software are Blender, Maya LT, Modo, Lightwave 3D, and ZBrush. Now questions for everyone else. What are some of your favorite 3D horror animations?
Monster House, that's a childhood movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, Monster House can't go wrong with that. I don't think.
Not at all, no.
Kind of hard to say when you're the only coward in the room.
I don't watch horror movies that much.
Oh, not the. Well, not coward-wise.
I mean, if you watch did you watch Cartoon Network? You know, as a
Okay,
kid, like,
Cartoon
did you ever watch Scary Godmother?
No.
Nope.
I forgot Scary Godmother exists. I used to watch that all the time on the Halloween season back when I was a kid.
If we want wacky 3D horror movies, the animated Resident Evil movies are also good for just some of the gun-fu stupidity alone. And the effects are pretty neat too, I'll admit.
And another example, one thing, I'll mention another wacky 3D, another wacky horror movie that's also 3D. Hotel Transylvania's 1 and 2.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also Paranorman and Frank and Weenie.
Yeah.
So anything Tim Burton made, basically.
And also Coraline. Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, but those are all stop motion.
Yeah.
So
It counts though.
It does count as animation and horror, but it doesn't count as 3D.
I'm sure they probably use some 3D and here and there. Maybe we just don't see it, you know, because we're just mostly focusing on the stop motion. But I'm sure they did like some effects.
So I thought you were just.
Also, aren't the figures themselves like 3D models? So I mean not like animated 3D, but like.
You are right. They were.
So,
They were printed as 3D models, like. So yeah, we can consider that.
Oh wait, Monsters Inc.
Monsters Inc. Yes.
How come no one said Monsters
Well,
Inc?
because it's
I
not
guess
technically
you
horror.
said horror.
Horror movie.
But
I mean,
sure, there's
said
monster,
horror,
but
not little
it's like
child
PG
shows.
horror, you know.
I don't think that counts.
No, it doesn't.
Well, Monsters University maybe, but not Monsters Inc.
Does that count? I don't think that counts either.
Because
I get it.
they teach
Yeah, that
people
movie
about
sucked.
scaring in that.
Oh, okay. Then okay. Yeah, I get. Yeah, that makes more sense.
They teach people about scaring in Monsters U.
Well, I mean, there's some of the later Saw films are in 3D, right? I'm not
You know
a
what-
fan,
yes.
so I'm not into the slasher stuff. I'm more psychological horror, things like
Can't.
like The Ring, not Paranormal Activity. What's the TV?
The Poltergeist?
You mean the girl that gets sucked
No.
into the TV or the fan?
Yes.
That was the Ring?
No, the other one.
No.
Seven
the
Days?
chick gets stuck in the little girl gets stuck in the TV.
Yeah,
That's
Poltergeist.
That is Poltergeist. That is
Yeah.
Poltergeist.
Yeah.
That's what everybody in cartoons makes references to.
It's in
I can't believe
1980.
no
Oh
one-
my goodness, it is. And it's
Watch
not
the
even
movie.
3D, so it doesn't even matter.
I didn't even watch the movie.
Okay, so on a technicality, there's a scene where the ghost, there's a little toy ghost that's like in a room, and he's sort of like making stuff fly around. There's like CDs. So if you look at that scene, some of those objects that are flying around, they're not on wires. They're actually like 3D objects, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I mean, well, isn't technically Annabelle sort of? I mean, I remember seeing a demon in one of them. Like maybe the demon was
The recent movie Annabelle.
I believe.
Oh yeah, the Insidious films. There's
Yeah.
stuff in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
I remember seeing a demon.
Annabelle isn't an Insidious movie. It's part of the Conjuring movies.
Yeah.
The Conjuring was, and I'm spitballing here. It's the adjective movies.
I can't believe that nobody's brought this one up, but Beetlejuice.
Oh yeah, that's a
Okay.
good one.
That is a good one.
Yeah.
Beetlejuice.
Has anyone mentioned The Nightmare Before Christmas?
Well, that's stop
Yeah,
motion, but yeah.
I mean, it's a good film. It's worth mentioning. Yeah.
It is a good film for mentioning, but it's stop motion.
I kind of wonder about like certain scenes, just like hard to tell if it is still stop motion because it's done so well.
Yeah,
like,
I'm sure they use
like
some
the fight,
3D modeling and stuff for that.
Yeah.
Especially the later stop motion ones like Paranorman,
Mhm.
Frankenweenie and stuff. Like I think those had definite like computer 3D effects and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean most like live action horror movies do too now though. Yeah, like It and It 2 both had like a lot of CG.
Yeah.
And kicked on it.
Like I would say the first one is my favorite. It got kind of weird in like the other movies.
Yeah. Like that big Paul Bunyan or whatever, like stomping around, like that's definitely, yeah.
Oh, did they ever finish that? Did they get to the scene where like in the books he turned into a giant turtle monster or something?
Turtle or spider?
I think it was Spider in the movie.
It looked like a
It
spider.
was a spider. Wait, are we talking about it?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was a spider.
It looked like a giant
I've
spider.
actually never seen it.
You have
I've
it?
never seen it,
good.
but like I've been
Really?
watching the cinema
Small
since.
I really
segments
want
of
to
it.
though.
If I remember
I want
correctly,
to, though.
if I remember correctly, in the book he was taking his true form, and because a normal human can't comprehend it, they end up seeing it as like this giant spider monster.
Everybody's scared of spiders.
I'm
So
not.
he just went the Lovecraftian
Yes, you-
route of
No, I'm not.
the
My mom is,
closest
though.
analog that the human mind can conjure is what they see.
Yeah.
Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters.
Oh yeah.
Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters.
The I have
That movie is
insulin
garbage.
shot because I'm Gretel.
Yeah, but it is CGI and it is horror. Just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if people don't like it, it's, it's still CGI and it's still horror. Just saying.
Look, man, there was witches and crossbows. That's all I knew. Anyway, I have to leave.
Okay.
So, leave.
No problem. Thanks for joining us. Yeah.
I'll be back next week.
Yes.
All right. See you guys later.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Event Horizon.
Event Horizons. Okay. What's the story about that one about? I've never.
The haunted spaceship, and they're on the spaceship that's constantly killing people.
Okay.
It was both a critical and a commercial failure, but it does have a bit of a cult following. Yes, it's extremely obscure.
I know it's very popular with Warhammer fans for some reason. I don't know why. I've never played Warhammer.
Is it a good game?
I don't know. I've never played it.
Well, I mean, like you're saying, you don't know why you never played it. That's the thing.
I'm sure it's good.
I mean, I think I might have played it like a little bit. I think it's almost like World of Warcraft. It's like a clone of it.
No, it's a tabletop game.
Oh, that version.
Warhammer 40K, I mean.
Okay, I might have mistaken it for like another. It's like so many other clones of World of Warcraft that I probably played as a kid. Like, I think there was one called Vindictus. That was a cool game. Okay. Alright. So I guess to the other questions, what do you think makes a good 3D horror animation?
Mortal Kombat gore.
Oh yeah.
That's
Oh
fair.
yeah, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, first of all, the element of fear, because it can't be horror without an element of fear.
Yes. They certainly go like super dark, like intentionally in a lot of these horror films. Like, I mean, they could add some lighting, but it seems to be like the suspense of seeing things or like allowing the audience to use their imagination is more terrifying to than actually seeing the creature itself.
This is why I don't watch horror movies, because my imagination makes it a whole lot worse.
Sometimes our greatest fear is of the unknown.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why you keep the lights on.
That's why analog horror is so good.
Yeah. Like, did you want to mention a few? I mean, I
There was some I could name off the top of my head. There's Harmony and Horror, Monument Mythos, and a shit ton of FNAF VHS tapes. And also the Wanted Files.
FNAF?
Also,
Yeah.
Five Nights at
also
Freddy's.
Yeah, fan made VHS.
Oh,
Yeah,
I haven't seen those.
they're 3D animated.
Oh.
Yeah.
There's also the Mandela catalog.
Mhm.
There's that too.
You know what I find interesting is like the use of gore. If it's like, does it more or less? Is it better to have more gore or less gore in a horror film? Because
It depends
I
on
was
the
gonna say,
audience, I think.
it depends on what you're trying to go for.
Yeah.
Because shouldn't
Depends on the direction or what the
Psychological
audience
horror.
wants or something. I don't know.
shouldn't psychological horror kind of like not really focus on the gore? So the fact it's supposed and then again, blood could be psychological too, but like, but since it's trying to be more psychological, shouldn't just work on like fears instead of just like slashing and hacking everybody to death?
I mean, I would think earlier Nightmare on Elm Street, those films were pretty terrifying. At least when I was watching those as a kid. But watching it now, I'm just kind of like meh, or I might be just desensitized from what we're capable of
I
doing
cannot
now.
understand how our parents are so scared of Freddy Krueger.
Mhm.
Desensitized. You guys are desensitized.
Possibly. I mean, I played video games that's done worse. I think I can't remember the name of that one game. I mean, I think I did play some Silent Hill as a game.
Nope. The first presence of Five Nights at Freddy's when I was in 3rd grade broke me as a child. I remember sitting in a corner crying because I did not want to look at it.
I'm not afraid of Freddy Krueger, but I do think he's quite hideous.
All those
That tends to happen when you get set on fire.
Yeah.
can't do that.
He's I hope he's not expecting to win any beauty contests.
You could. You never know these days.
True.
I feel like the child murder would get him disqualified.
Maybe,
Yeah.
you know. Some girls look like they could kill a child. You never know. What was that?
Like, you guys ever watched the it was Freddy versus Jason film?
I have.
I've heard of that.
Yeah.
Is it just a guy in a hockey mask? Has the mask?
Yeah, Jason's
Yes.
the hockey
Has it
mask.
ever been like
Shit.
taken off?
Shit.
Yes.
Yeah,
in
yeah,
some,
a few
in
times.
other movies, yeah.
Well, he's
I forget
like
which one.
hideously deformed. Dude, he's like was born hideously deformed, and that's why he wears and that's usually why he wears a mask and whenever he appears in the movies.
I see.
Yeah.
What about this guy's Michael Myers?
He also wears a mask, but it's just like pale white, and it actually has like. Yeah.
It's a William Shatner mask painted white.
Yeah. With a knife.
Yeah.
You know,
But he's not like, he's not immortal. He's just some really strong dude. I
Yeah,
don't
like
know.
like Jason, well in the later movies he's an outright zombie,
Mhm.
like he's undead. But
That
with
makes
Michael,
sense.
he's just a normal guy.
Yes.
He's just a normal, well, maybe a normal guy. There might be something supernatural to him, but it's
Yeah.
never. But it's a mystery.
You're
It's
burned
sort of a
alive.
mystery to it.
There's something supernatural.
I mean, there was that one scene when they did like the remake, when they showed his childhood. He broke like he fought a dude in a bathroom stall, and he like broke the walls, which I thought was pretty badass at the time. It's like goddamn, it's like
You're a strong
this dude.
child.
Yes. Oh no, this is when he was an adult, but
Okay.
in his childhood, he went pretty psycho on some bully. He like beat him with a stick.
Deserved.
Yes.
Which I honestly think doesn't work for him. I feel like Michael's kind of works better when you don't know why he's doing what he's.
I think.
Why he
Yeah,
kills.
I think some things are just
Like with-
not to be expected.
Like with Jason, it makes sense because they from the beginning they established that he has like this backstory of being bullied as a child, which is what led to him dying.
Also had some
in the first
real
place.
shitty camp counselors, if I
Yeah,
remember
but
correctly.
with Michael, it's an entire well, with Michael, the entire idea is that he is just pure evil.
Hey guys, did you know Thanksgiving is supposed to be scary now?
Really?
Oh yeah,
That is true.
there is a movie now about there's a horror movie now about Thanksgiving.
You mean Thanksgiving?
Yeah,
Thanksgiving?
yeah,
Yeah.
Thanksgiving. Yeah, it's on Dead Meat, right?
Well, yeah, they did.
Yeah, they did a kill count on Dead Meat.
On the two movies.
Wait,
Yeah.
you already saw it?
What?
Because there's one just called Thanksgiving that's coming out.
Okay, I've never heard of it.
Okay, I was like,
yeah,
wait
I
a
know
minute.
I thought you were talking about.
I thought I was an
Thanksgiving.
idiot for a second.
Yeah, I thought
no,
you were
this
talking
guy.
about the Thanksgiving movies.
Like I just like sit down, like just watch a YouTube, and I get this trailer of a man with a pilgrim mask, like buttering a lady's foot, and I'm like, did I walk into something really bad? And then like he's basting the lady in like a big dish with food all around her.
Okay, but this is the movie
Yeah, I don't
Logan
know
and
what that's
I are talking about Thanksgiving.
Sounds more like a fetish.
There's like dream movies.
There's
They're
at
actually
the end the lady
they're like-
gets burnt alive.
No, I think there's something. I don't know.
Well, how
I
you
can't
described it
have
at first, it
it.
made it sound like a fetish scene.
I mean, that's what it looked like when I saw it without context at all. I was like, oh, what did I do to deserve this? So yeah, I add it to my list of what horror movies make us fear now.
Okay.
It is a very long list. Some of it is just stupid, funny stuff.
Okay, what are some of the challenges of creating 3D horror animations?
Mortal Kombat gore.
I mean, yeah. Also likeness. Or continuity. Or the uncanny valley. Uncanny, oh yeah.
That's true. I feel like there's a lot of pressure, at least now, to like if you're gonna show your monster, which is like obviously like you guys were talking about, like a strategy that they use to like ramp up suspense and stuff is to not show you the monster. But eventually, like the likelihood of you wanting to show the viewer the monster like gets higher, right, as the film goes on. Once you do, if it's like disappointing, it's like crazy bad, like for your movie overall. You can do so many other things right, but if your monster is like lame looking, once you reveal it, I feel like it's like kind of just dead in the water a little bit. So I guess like designing a monster that would actually be scary, and like now like you said, Uncanny Valley, it has to look like believable now too, to an extent, because of how crazy like CGI has gotten.
One time I played this Mortal Kombat game, and there was a scene where one of the fighters slashed over this creature that looked like a monster. He slashed him in two. You can see his entire anatomy and guts and bones and everything.
Enjoy.
Would that be an example of horror?
Well, yes.
It's gore.
I
I
think
feel
it's
like
like
Mortal Kombat
there's
series is like horror, Jason.
Definitely gore. I agree with you there. It's definitely gore.
It's gore, so I guess so.
there's definitely like a budget issue that's like, you know,
Oh yeah, but
It's something kind of switch.
I forgot money exists.
like probably some films would if they had the money, they would like to go all out, but there's definitely this pattern of just like maybe 2/3 of the film is just dedicated to just like the minimal of jump scares. Just go like, oh, somebody slams the door, oh, somebody just turns on the coffee machine, just like, oh, just until eventually the guy comes out and he's only in the film for like 30 minutes or something, or 20 minutes.
That would,
And
honestly.
I guess you paid money for this film. You only technically paid for like 20 minutes of actually seeing this creature. But yeah, I would say the budget of just like, well, I guess if it was for 3D animations, there's probably like a lot of time that has to go into making like these hyper realistic and textured looking people or creatures. like back when what was that one? It was like a vampire hunter. Was it Van Helsing?
Probably.
Probably.
Yeah, like films like that. Like spending a budget of like, I guess back then probably like maybe 19 million was like nothing back then. But compared to today, each film is having this over-the-top budget of 100 million or something. It's like.
Don't in horror movies sometimes they have like CGI animals?
Yes, that is so strange, but I think then.
Because I remember hearing CinemaSins yap about it.
Yeah, that's a weird thing, like with nowadays where I think probably animal rights activists have sort of killed the whole like using real animals in films anymore. So that's probably why the budget's been going up.
Those cat lovers, I'm telling you, man. You kill a cat on screen, someone's gonna have an aneurysm.
Like definitely that film Shadow Man or The Invisible Man, like
Invisible Man.
Yeah, that was the film where like so at a scientist lab, this guy I guess in a freak accident turns invisible, but it also kind of like drove him kind of enraged or something. So he became angry and sort of like
I was wondering
killing happy or something. So there's this like intense scene where he kind of like kills a dog or throws him into a metal box. It's like, but you see it in like infrared. It's so intense. But there's some like really interesting scenes where like you see the inside of his mask because like you see he's invisible, but they put like some skin over his face. But when he opens his mouth and eyes, you see just inside of the mask that he's wearing, you know. It's like,
which version of Invisible Man is this?
Maybe from like the 90s or early 2000s. Like,
I don't remember an Invisible Man from the 90s, early 2000s.
Maybe it was called something else, maybe Shadow Man or something.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard of that.
Let me look it up.
There's all the ones from the 30s and 40s, and then there was the recent one from 2020. But
that's what I was
which one
thinking.
you're talking
That's
Yeah.
what I thought you were
I
talking
thought he was talking about the 2021 too.
So it's like he kills a dog in that? God damn.
Funny thing, I don't think I even remember that there was a dog in that movie.
There was, but it did not die.
Oh.
Wait, then what about what's something called Smile, where the woman's cat dies? Is that a CGI cat? Because not gonna lie,
Probably.
If it was, that cat looks so real.
We talked about a movie from 2000 called Hollow Man.
Maybe that's what it was called.
Apparently there was a dog that was killed in that movie, so that might be what you're talking about.
This looks just like what you described, actually. Yeah.
Yeah,
With
yeah.
The
If you
mask and the open eye holes and stuff.
Yeah, that's pretty freaky.
That is really freaky.
When did that movie come out?
2000.
Yeah.
Also, when you were talking about like all the jump scares that were used right even before you see the monster, it kind of reminded me of like either Bird Box or A Quiet Place. Probably both. Where like, I mean, I know I'm like scared, but every time I would like see the commercials, I'm like, I really wanted to know what the monster was for no reason, even though I did not want to watch the movie at all.
Yeah.
But like, I still wanted to see what the monster was. I don't think I saw the one for Bird Box.
Yeah, the Bird Box one, they never reveal what the monster is.
Which cheeses me off a bit, but
and then in the Quiet Place, they reveal it in like the first 10 minutes.
wasn't it like some sort of alien predator thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
Okay. What are some of the unique advantages of using 3D animations for horror? I would say like the flexibility of like, you could literally create anything.
If you know how
Mortal
to.
Kombat gore.
That is true. Being able to see the inside of a person without an
cutting
X-ray,
the
to
inside
see
of
their
the
whole
person.
spine snap and break, the skulls deform. It's quite fascinating. It's like that's some next level of creativity. They didn't have to go so hard on that, but it does add to the experience.
No, it definitely paid off, like, to set them apart in their genre, you know. Yeah, but like you were saying, like, just being able to do anything with 3D is definitely the big draw. Like monsters and stuff, having to do that stuff like practical effects is like so difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot easier to like 3D animate a monster than like have this whole elaborate like giant creature constructed that you have to make look real.
Yeah. Like before, they would use heavily puppetry. Like for instance, in the film Small Soldiers, they would need like maybe 10 people to work one little character. Like if you look at the behind the scenes, it's quite fascinating to see so many people work together, make this little toy seem lifelike. It's quite fascinating. Okay, what are some of your favorite 3D animation techniques?
Mortal Kombat gore.
Mortal Kombat.
Okay, that's getting
Yeah.
I should probably stop.
Yeah.
Anyway, how about like something transforming into a monster?
Yeah, I definitely like when a man turns into a werewolf. When they're kind of integrating that. Those are always fun to watch.
Yeah, my favorite one example I can think of is this really classic old 90s PlayStation PS1 game called Parasite Eve, which, by the way, Square Enix, if you're somehow watching this video, please bring that franchise back. But yeah, pretty much it's that the plot of Parasite Eve is that there's this like disease or something going around New York, and it's literally transforming everyone into like hideous monsters, and it can range from rats to dogs to like humans. So yeah, it's a really interesting concept, and all of y'all should check out that game. Seriously.
I'll think about it.
That sounds like a no.
Most likely.
That's like the nice way of saying I'll go check it out. It's like a nice way of saying no.
Yeah, here's an example.
Oh my goodness, that looks awesome.
Yeah, and this is from like 1997. Pretty impressive.
It reminds me a lot of like Resident Evil or Silent Hill.
Yeah, I think that's what it's like. I think that's what Square Enix was trying to do, make their own version of Resident Evil.
If I showed it to my friend, he'd say it looks like Biscuit.
Right.
One of my characters.
Okay.
Okay. What are some of the best 3D animation software programs?
Aha, trick question. None of them, because they're too confusing.
Well, true. They do require a bit of time investment to learn it, but eventually, once you get used to it, they do become quite easy to use. Like there are tutorials out there that show people can build stuff in as little as like 15 minutes.
That's what you're thinking.
Moaning.
I'm sorry, I thought I heard something weird.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I think I did. Some moaning.
It's not porn, it's a video from Pivy. It's a video from Pivy. I know it sounds like
Okay. I thought you were just casually watching hentai.
I mean, I mean, if I was technically watching something like porn or hentai, I would only want certain people to know about it.
But
I wouldn't just want any old person to know about it if I was technically watching that. And if I was hypothetically watching that stuff, which, again, I would, if I was...
Okay, I feel like we're getting off
okay,
track.
thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, no worries. You don't have to confess your sins. You know, this isn't...
Yeah, don't get too overly defensive.
Yes, no worries. Okay. What was I saying? So yes, so that seems to be the standard software in most industries. Would be using Autodesk or Maya. Blender's become like a very new favorite now. Now that it's it's free, it's available, and there's so many tutorials online on YouTube that you can see. So where can people find tutorials and resources for learning 3D animation?
Oh yeah, all over YouTube, right?
Yeah.
All over YouTube.
So they're like like you said, there are like endless amount of tutorials on YouTube.
Yes, YouTube.
YouTube.
I know the official Blender site has like their own tutorials, but they probably link those onto YouTube as well. There are probably some Facebook groups out there specifically for Blender users, so they probably have like their own resources as well that may not be as openly as available. Like there's even sites for like just assets where like if you don't want to model a tree or a background or various materials, you like it's available for you to just download. Like I've seen some people do like a 1 hour challenge where they try to build a game in Blender in like 1 hour.
Yeah.
And all they used was like the free assets, and they just rigged the character. So it's possible to build something very fast, and certainly, what's that one game that's gotten popularity? Bendy? No.
Bendy and the Ink Machine?
Not that one. What's the other one that looks cheaper?
What?
Poppy
Playtime?
Oh, is it?
Not Poppy
No.
Playtime. What's the one with the girl?
Band. No.
Yeah, Garden of Band.
Oh, it is? Oh, never
Yeah,
mind.
that's the one. It's like, they're pumping out games.
Amanda the
every 2
Offender, that's
months.
also a good example.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So sassy. I was also going to say, Clip Studio Paint also has some 3D models that you can use. I don't know if they have like a 3D like software and all, but I know they have 3D models.
Maybe they do have something that you can.
I remember Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared implemented some 3D models
did?
in
Yes,
in
they
the
did.
computer
Yeah.
skit.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
I'd say like
I love that scene.
Blender's kind of like confusing, right? But you also like if you're going into it for animation, you don't really have to learn like the sculpting aspect of it.
Yes.
Like the video we just watched was like about like extruding faces and stuff like that.
Yes.
If you were to like find an asset for like a character, or maybe you have somebody doing that for you, like designing the character and making the model, having somebody else rig it for you, and then just going into Blender and then like using their animation like side like tab or whatever, like you don't have to learn the sculpting and like object building portion. You could just focus on learning the animation, 3D animation part, which actually once you get into it isn't too crazy. You know.
Yes, that is definitely true. In like the bigger studios, they do like to separate jobs. Like so, they have the person who does the rigging, or they make it so that they like presets like facial expressions or like mouth movements. They kind of preset that and just give that to the main animator who's going to. I guess they give them the wheels to the character, and then they'll just like have fun with it, see what they can make.
Yeah.
Okay, so what advice would you give someone who wants to get into 3D animation? I mean, I would say it just takes a bit of patience, and you could probably learn it within a month if you have
Patience, time, and money.
patience. I don't know if there's really money involved. I guess you need the money to invest into like a decent laptop that has enough gigs of RAM and also maybe to run
sense.
it. What was it? It's like the Nova card or what? I can't. Darn. I don't remember if, like, for my own laptop. I got a gaming laptop that comes with, like, you know, with the RAM, but also it's like a processor to probably run 3D.
Right, your graphics card.
That's what it's called, the graphics card. Yes, that's what you need. Yeah, I think the minimum that you need is like 2 gigs on a graphics card, but it's probably better to have higher if you really want to make your own short film.
Yeah, it can get pretty heavy,
Yeah.
like RAM-wise after a while. But yeah, advice is kind of just to, you know, go through the tutorials and stuff, and like kind of just pick. I'll also kind of pick one software.
Or just take a class.
Or take
like
a
I
class.
am.
Yeah.
That's why I said money, because the classes are usually like not expensive, but like
I think,
cost
yeah,
a little bit.
depending on the person who's offering the class, you can spend as little as like maybe $50, $100, or $500 if you're going off like directly from the Blender site where they have their own classes on there.
No, I'm using Maya for my class.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna say a lot of this stuff though for learning stuff like Maya or like Photoshop, or I mean like Adobe tools and stuff like that, or like Cinema 4D. Like in a class, a lot of the time the professor kind of just like links you to other stuff to watch in your free time and like learn it. Like I know like learning stuff like Photoshop or whatever, or even learning like Toon Boon, right? My professors would be like, okay, this is the assignment. These are free videos you can go watch, and then that was almost it. Like as far as like instruction went, it kind of felt like, you know, I could learn that on my own if I just had the videos. Didn't have to pay for the class.
Pay between $500 to over $1,000 for a class where they won't teach you how to use the software.
Yeah, if it's a requirement for your major, then like, you know, obviously take that class.
Yes.
Which makes sense though.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been fortunate enough to actually have a professor who's willing to at least answer the questions, but she didn't actually go
That's
through
good.
like a whole just step-by-step process. So I would say it was kind of like 50% tutorials and 50% the professor kind of answering some questions that I would have. But
having someone to answer questions is good too, yeah. Because I feel like learning a lot of the programs like Blender and stuff is a lot of like Google searching your problem when you could have had someone like explain it to you.
Yeah, definitely. Autodesk Maya, they publish like a pretty thick book.
Oh wow.
Yes, it's heavy as hell. It's and I guess they update it every year. So I don't know what new stuff they have nowadays, but the one that I currently have is probably like maybe 10 pounds. Could be. Okay. So, if our listeners would like to have access to the packet that we went over, like we have a list of resources available. If they would like to get into learning Blender themselves.
And trust me, this is a long ass list.
Yes, it certainly is. Like getting into 3D, you'd want to learn how to sculpt. How to sculpt, how to color, how to extrude, yes.
It's a fancy word that I bet none of y'all know.
I mean, I did take a 3D Max class in community college, so I knew a little bit of extrude, but I forget it. I can't forget.
Let me be the smart one here.
Fine, you will. Fine, fine. You can have your
I'm
moments.
Fine.
Let him have his thunder.
Yes. So learn about typology, so learning about rigging, how to sculpt a face, probably make assets, learn about cloth physics, how to make water, understand what FK and IK is, how to do textures. There's texture painting, which is where you can paint directly onto the object, or you do bit mapping, which is sort of like the whole object is laid flat, and then you can kind of like take it to Photoshop and kind of paint the object that way. It's, I don't know how some people are able to do it, but they're able to do it. It's an option. And I would say motion tracking is definitely a fun thing to learn, because you don't have to learn how to animate in the software. You could do a video of yourself and bring it into Blender, and Blender has like a motion capture option, which kind of like might cut down on animating time, because it would just kind of follow your movements, and then it would just apply that to animating
and stuff. Wow, that's
yeah.
cool.
That's why I added that to the list, because I thought that would like such a cool thing to learn. Okay. All right. I guess, is there anything else that you guys would like to discuss?
Not really.
Not really.
Nah, nothing that comes to mind.
Okay. All right, then I guess we can, like before we kind of close out on the episode, let's do a quick talk about like what you guys would like to discuss about for next week. Get the
I would
audience excited.
really want to talk about animated music videos.
Ooh,
Okay.
that sounds.
I think they're cool as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Especially the ones that are anime inspired.
That sounds really fun. We were hoping to do.
Or at least AMVs. Like animated music videos are just straight up literal AMVs.
Okay.
We're hoping
Yeah.
to do one of.
I would definitely be down for that, for a
Like-
conversation like that.
Like
inspired
how to make your own music, or use
No, like
music.
like pretty much how to make AMVs, or like just talking about music videos that are animated by like actual artists, or like the artists like putting the wait, what am I trying to say? Okay, like having the artist make a music video that's animated. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure, that would be like a fun topic to cover.
Me and my friend were trying to do that because
Okay.
of being inspired by Evangelion.
Nice.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
more him.
I'm sure that Evangelion AMVs.
I mean, technically.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, listeners. Look forward to next week. We'll be talking about 2D animations and music videos. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and look in the description for like links to. Follow our Discord for access to the links, and we'll probably make like playlists of like some of the videos that we went over. Like, comment, and subscribe. Check out everyone's social media who participated today. All right, thank you and good night.
Not even Halloween yet.
It's Halloween to me.
Alright.
Spooky season.
Yeah.